right, guys. Welcome. First of all, what a privilege it is to have all of you at home.
मैं आपका ये वाला जो हाउ टू सेल इंडिया ये थंबनेल देख के मुझे लगा कुछ सिखाएंगे सेल करने के लिए। मैं वो सेल करने के लिए मुझे नहीं पता कि हम लोग को ही सेल करना है जाके।
टी शर्ट खरीदो एंड रेजर मिलेगा नहीं तो रेजर खरीदो टी शर्ट मिलेगा
like 80 पे रेजर 80 पे रेजर 80 पे रेजर
come from a typically entrepreneur family which is Marwari. So खून में है मेरा।
This is the crime master go-go rule of sales. बड़ी दूर से आया हूँ, बिना कुछ बेचे नहीं जाऊँगा।
Someone shouted कि रेज़रप्रेन्योर का 500 का ऑर्डर आ गया, पुणे चाले। Yes, my city is going forward. Adi, welcome back to the BarberShop. I know we've done a very, very crowd favorite episode, and then of course you did an Instagram live with all our Razorpreneurs. Welcome home, and I thought I'll just take 5-10 minutes to tell you about the Razorpreneur challenge and how the last couple of months have been. But any thoughts? I know you've seen this on Instagram or YouTube. What have been your thoughts?
So I've been following it avidly because I think we discussed this last time. In one of my previous lives, we used to do events where like this, right? And it really used to set the world alight in the sense that you would get dramatic levels of involvement when people think and people are actually making a difference. So if you can really project influence through so many people who are so passionate, it makes a huge difference. And you can see that through all of the shots or everything you can see on Insta. These guys have done such an amazing job. It's just been fantastic to watch.
You won't believe actually the germination of the thought came from your insight on the Durex competition in China.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, how do we combine competitive entrepreneurial spirit, the fact that we are launching razors and we don't want to spend too much on media, and this amazing contest-driven, crowdsourced salesmanship where we as BarberShop also disseminate a certain learning that being a salesperson is one of the most underrated but critical filters to being a good entrepreneur. It's not by any stretch of imagination a sufficient condition, but it's definitely a necessary one. So we combined those three and created the Razorpreneur. So when we started Adi, we genuinely did not believe that it would create the kind of momentum it did, right? So just to put this in some numbers, we have gotten almost 30 to 32 million people to come and engage with Razorpreneur content alone.
Wow.
This involves people from Bombay Shaving Company, including our friend Arjun, who went with me to Connaught Place to sell.
I saw that.
Yes, people from Bombay Shaving Company going onto the streets to sell, and then going into colleges to get college kids to kind of showcase their spirit, and then the Razorpreneur contest, which is sell as many Sensi Smart 3 razors as possible, and the one who sells the most becomes the Razorpreneur, and the 10 who have sold the most, of which 5 have sold above 1,000 razors each, are actually coming today. In 2 months, Adi, we have sold overall across channels, we have sold almost 6.5 lakh razors. Razorpreneurs alone have sold 48,000 of them. So it's beaten all the numbers we had thought, and this is all through just the free-spirited entrepreneurial desire that has been shown by people who've taken. I think selling a razor, if you just think about it purely, is not the most exciting thing to do. But when people have made it a part of their mission and come together, it's been amazing.
Well, it's been riding a wave of passion of each of these individual people, which then accumulates. And when you put the passion of so many people together, this is just the start. See, there are two ways to sell things. It's about selling something, and it's about selling something in the right way. So if you just sell something, you can just give a discount and there's no value. But if you sell something in the right way, which is there is human emotion and human passion behind it, people remember it. People remember that they have bought it for the right reason. They value the product much more. When they value the product much more, you have better repeats. It's not just about the start. It's about selling for the right reason or buying for the right reason, which then creates a value in the product, which if the product lives up to, increases everything forever.
Correct. One thing we've seen is of the 6.5 lakh razors that we've sold, almost 35% of people have come back and bought the cartridges, which is super exciting. And the thing is, the insight on cartridges also came from the Razorpreneurs. So what was super awesome for me was that हमको लगता था कि हम बहुत स्मार्ट हैं, कि हमने बहुत रिसर्च किया है, हमने बहुत कंज्यूमर से बात की है.
Sorry to interrupt you. I saw your first pitch, which I thought was a bit shit.
Yeah. I mean, you can say it was completely shit. Correct.
But I'm sure if you pitch it today with all the learnings that have come back from these people,
Yes.
it's going to be totally transformed.
Correct. We have realized that the 99 rupee razor price point is a massive, massive gaping hole in the current competitors' portfolio. So we knew the price point is going to stick. Second is elevation from disposable to a system razor was very clear because the competition was making someone jump from 40 rupees straight to 200 rupees. And we said, there has to be a ladder. So we said, we'll capture that place. Then it's a younger brand. So the razor is about sensitive on the skin. It is softer, designed for you. It's got colors and it's got a youth about the product that is very young. We realize that older consumers are tough to change their habits. Younger consumers are going to try a product for the first time.
So how difficult to change habits is correlated to how tough the hair of the beard is?
No, it's
Because
just,
as you get older, the hair is tougher? Okay, I'm just joking.
no, it's a good question. I think it's not. It's more than habit stickiness. I think it is that there is the cost to change is very high, right? The competition is amazing, and if someone has muscle memory for 5-7 years of taking a particular product to their face, they don't want to really change it.
So it's not loyalty in most categories; it's habitual loyalty.
Correct. You're right. It's absolutely. It's actually just comfort. It's a comfort zone, right?
You don't have to think about it.
And we realized that the Razorpreneurs, in fact, I think Dipti and Dharampal, Mahesh, even Thomas, all four of them came back and said, guys, everyone's asking about the cartridges. But we said, नहीं, पहले use तो करने दो. फिर cartridge पसंद आएगा तो cartridge खरीदेंगे ना. It's a very manufacturer first approach. पसंद आएगा तो खरीदेंगे. Why do you want to stick it on them? But they said no, they want comfort कि cartridge भी मिलेगा. पसंद आएगा तो I'm safe, right? So all of them came back and said that we need cartridges to sell to our customers. And we're like, wow. If you need cartridges, then if you're going to a distributor, if you're going to a retailer, if you're going to modern trade, if you're going to Amazon, anywhere we have to have cartridges with the razors, number one, on day zero. And second is, there has to be a SKU that has a razor plus 1 or 2 cartridges along with it. And which is very different from competition, but we've said, okay, cool, that seems to be the way to go. That was a huge learning that we got from.
So did you adjust your?
Oh yeah, we adjusted. We have
So you took that feedback and you changed
immediately. Immediately. So we had a razor only, then razor plus 1, razor plus 3, then razor plus 5, and then
And this
8.
is also the best type of market research because when people tell you what they will do, they don't intend to lie, but unfortunately they do. So
Correct.
market research is the art of calibrating the lie. But when people actually, when you measure behavior, then you get it absolutely right.
Market research is about calibrating the lie.
Yeah.
That is, do you think people answer questions to show how smart they are or to please you, I think, as a question asker?
Well, it depends upon the category, it depends on the context, it depends on how they want to be seen, but it also depends on what they think themselves. So supposing you ask me, when did I last buy a razor? In reality, I don't remember. I have to process and fill a hole in my memory which contains this information. And it is as likely as not that I will manufacture something and not even be aware that I have done so.
Correct. You don't want to lie, but you end up...
You're not lying, but you're not accurate. But you think you're accurate, right? So, you can see it in the polls, right? You can't even predict who will be the president of a country based on what people poll when they come out.
Correct.
So how are people going to tell you what they used 4 months ago
What they bought 2 months
for
ago.
a category that they don't think about?
Correct. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure you've seen some of the stories of the Razorpreneurs. What, like, I'm sure we'll meet all of them soon, but what are some of the things that you took away, like, which stood out for you?
Well, for the eventual winner, interestingly enough, we were on a call with him together.
Correct.
Right? So that
On
was
the live.
The one live I did.
Yeah.
And you could already see that the guy has passion, the guy has a plan, the guy knows what he's going to do and how he's going to do it.
Correct.
And I was actually kind of not rooting for anyone, but I was keeping a friendly eye on how he's progressing. And he was not number one every week.
Yes.
And you could see that he went up and down, up and down.
Yes.
But wherever he went down, within 1 week or 2 weeks, there
was
was
back.
always a surge.
Correct.
So very often in sales is about, the one thing about sales is that if you are clear what your target is, and in his case, I think he was clear that he wants to be number one.
Correct.
And once you've been number one, you don't want to lose it, right?
Correct.
So you could see that extra effort came in.
Correct.
I can tell you, if the second person had done 1,000 razors more, I think this guy would have found a way to cross that.
Yeah. There was a lot of... You're absolutely right, because he would call up Arnab and Gauri and the marketing team who was in touch with the Razorpreneurs. He would WhatsApp me also. There was a period where the first 2 names we had kept anonymized. We had put XXXX. And he called up and said, hey, are these genuine or are you just are you guys just putting in some inauthentic numbers just to get us to buy more? We said, no, they're genuine, but we are kind of keeping them under wraps. Mahesh, for example, entered the race like after 3-4 weeks in after it had started, but immediately ramped up very quickly. So when Thomas saw Mahesh kind of climbing up, he said, it looks rather impossible that someone has taken a lead this after coming in so late. But he's very competitive. And internally also we were thinking this seems to be a smart way to do it. And if we keep some, what's the word for it? A phantom Razorpreneur.
Yeah.
As a leader always, we can push everyone up, but then we realize it would just be inauthentic to do that. But
no, because there always will be, let's say, the limits of possibility, which hopefully the leader is pushing.
Correct.
But if the person is not pushing it, maybe somebody else will overtake him.
Correct. Absolutely. And also good to see women.
Yeah.
Good to see women.
I'm surprised it's only one in the top 10.
Yes. So there were a lot of women who...
And I saw names in the middle, right?
Yes, but I think when it came to the top 10, I think longevity and the product itself. I'm sure if we will do Razorpreneur for the women's razor. I'm really hopeful that there are 9 women and 1 man in the Razorpreneur final that we do for the Bombay brand. But Dipti has been amazing as well.
But talking about women, in some of the Instagram, it was very interesting to see that women were buying razors.
Yeah.
And more than I had expected. And there are all kinds of use occasions, right? So it's for gifting, for motivating people to get rid of beards.
Correct. No, absolutely. Also, I think, like you had told me this, right? That the shopper is the customer, in most cases, even for male products,
It's different.
is sometimes a woman, and the influence of the woman is also very high when it comes to grooming products, fragrances, shaving, etc. So, for us, gifting events are big. Raksha Bandhan, Valentine's Day, Father's Day are big events where most of our customers are women. So, good to see them influence, but I'm hoping that when we do the Bombay Razorpreneur, the ratio gets toppled. But outside the top 10 overall, I think out of 5,000 plus Razorpreneurs that we had eventually, I think almost 40% were women.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Very, very good to see. Very, very good to see.
And I was surprised at how little the number of students was. Because this somehow got pitched at a level of small entrepreneur business, people who are starting up. But I also think that if this was pitched one level lower,
Correct.
which is also when the habits are formed, by the way, at university, and you have some kind of university deal, then a single Razorpreneur can crack 20, 30,000.
That is true. The thing with college kids was, right, I think it reached a place where we felt that they were young for them, like they're not earning their own money. So when they're buying razors, they're actually using capital which is from the parents and so on. So I think there was a little bit of a gray area of ethics. Like, do we get college kids to become Razorpreneurs? But you're right, there has to be a better way to do that.
Well, your razor is cheaper than a biryani, right?
That is true.
And college kids eat biryani, right?
That is true. We don't get them to get it out of their pocket money, right?
Well, they buy razors anyway.
Yeah.
And many of them are buying razors which are more expensive than yours.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But for them to be Razorpreneurs and buy 1,000 razors, 2,000 razors, sometimes like we went to XLRI, we went to Hansraj, we went to Hindu College, we went to NMIMS. So these kids were like, in the moment, in that 1 hour, they were super excited to like sell, but they had to ask parents for permission and so on, right? So we felt that there was one small step before they become, earning independently before they can become Razorpreneurs. But
Sure.
I think there has to be a Red Bull-esque way of getting, because that's where the customer is.
Have you heard the story of this guy? It's on Netflix. There was this guy who decided, so Pepsi once had a promotion where they said that we are going to give you a Harrier jet. And this was a mistake, right? It was not a mistake, but nobody thought that they would do it.
Okay.
So this guy found a way to get enough Pepsi cans or caps or whatever to claim the Harrier jet. And then what happened? So if you have an ambitious enough target and an interesting enough incentive, you cannot discount what people will
We
do.
will do. And he actually, like, did they have to give it to him?
Yeah, because it went to court. And they realized that because nobody thought this could be done, so the legal language was not clear enough. So they had to do it.
Oh, wow. That is incredible. That is incredible. What are you looking forward to hearing from the Razorpreneurs today?
So look, sales is something that's always very interesting. And there are typically 2 areas of sales which I'm always very interested in. One is the mechanics of how you sell. how many people, how much conversion, how it works out, pricing, very hard KPIs. That's always interesting, and I'm interested in that. But what I'm more interested in is in the story, because the other side of sales is about how you tell a story. The best salesman or saleswoman is somebody who can tell a story in such a way that it completely immerses you in that story and you want to be part of it. So each of these people has a story, not just on how they sell, but also their personal narrative and how it weaves into becoming a Razorpreneur.
I think that's a good point. So how do you want, because we have 10 of them today with us, how do you want to do the dinner? Like, do you want to hear their stories one by one?
Yeah, I think that from what I've seen, all of them are hopefully good at the art of sales. And part of the art of sales is to say what you want faster than the other person can get bored.
Correct.
Otherwise, sales doesn't happen, right?
Correct.
So I think we will find people who will not
Do
bore
it quickly.
us.
No, I was saying, because I'll tell you, they're also here to share. They've all flown in from their towns. They've taken out time to be with us, and they want to share. Like, being on a BarberShop episode is exciting for them as well, right? So they'll come with like a lot. So we'll have to figure out how to bring the best onto the table. But I'm super excited about hearing the stories, the insights, the excitement, and learning for our teams as to how to, because people have tried launching razors, Adi, and failed miserably.
So one question to ask them maybe is to say, look, you've done really well. Now supposing and you're all salespeople, so you chase targets. So supposing I give you a month and I ask you, now that you know everything about this, to sell 10x more of what you sold. So if you sold 1,700, now I want you to sell 17,000. I'm not saying that I'm giving you a contract to do that, but
Yeah.
if that challenge was placed in front of you, what would you do differently?
That's a really good point.
Because that will also tell you what you can do different.
Yeah.
Because you have to scale from here, right? Now, next scale has to be 100x, and then
Yeah, that's true. We just feel like the market is a bottomless pit. Like, it's just deeper and deeper. And we feel like India is a 1.5 bathroom per household place, right? So the moment you convert one male in the household into a Bombay shaving company razor user, it is absolutely inevitable that the second one will follow. And the first one we're converting is a 20-year-old kid who's influencing his father, his brothers, his cousins, his uncles. Then we feel like that we have hooked the household. And then each of them will buy a razor which they like, and then the cartridges in the household start going up. So it's about using Razorpreneurs, using their insights, using their will to find the hook into the bathroom, and then hopefully compete meaningfully. Awesome. So Adi, they're almost here. Are you ready to welcome them over?
absolutely.
They're here. Awesome. All right, guys. Welcome. First of all, what a privilege it is to have all of you at home. And more than anything else, I think just to see the entrepreneurial spirit. Adi and I were discussing this before you guys came, and even when we were on our live, and all our investors who have seen our razors being launched were not sure of whether Razorpreneur as a concept will fly, who will be the people who will sell it, what's really going to happen. And we said, you know what, we're going to go for it, because honestly, what's the worst that can happen? At worst, it won't get enough interest, or people won't sign up, right? That's the worst that can happen. At least we'll get to meet people and learn. And to give you guys a sense of the numbers, right? In the last two months and 15 days or so since we launched our razors, overall, across all our Sensi Smart 3, Sensi Flow 4 and Sensi Flow 6 razors and our disposables, we've sold upwards of 6.5 lakh units. Wow. And without any media, right? And thanks to you guys, because you were making the content, you were selling in the markets, you were selling in colleges, in trains, in police stations, and you were doing amazing things which I want to hear about. But thanks to you, and we realized that there was a lot of feedback that was coming from you guys also to us. And what a privilege it is for us to have you all at home. Adi, some words before we start off?
Well, first of all, happy Diwali.
Yes.
And I've been watching the fireworks from far away. And I've been very, very interested in following what many of you have been doing. And I think it's just awesome what you guys have achieved. And tonight, I think it's about celebrating those stories, but also learning from those stories. And there are so many fantastic things that each one of you have done. I just can't wait to learn more.
Amazing. But I think to start with, I think because I know you guys, Adi may have just seen you on and off. So maybe around the table, we could start with your name, how many razors finally you sold, what your final count was, and one super exciting memory from the last 2 months.
Shantanu, can I just butt in and add one more thing to make it a bit more interesting? So, in sales and marketing, there's this fantastic concept which is called the hero's journey. So the hero's journey is something that is true of every successful book, movie, product. So it always starts with a hero hai. There is a hero who is not a hero, who is a normal person. Then this hero basically is doing normal things. Then this hero basically starts a journey. And in this journey, the hero travels or he has some challenges. Then there are bad times. There's a disaster. There's a villain. Hopefully there's a heroine, and maybe it's a heroine's journey and there's a hero who comes along. So it's a Hindi film. There's some action, there's some drama, and at the end, the hero triumphs, right? All of you are heroes who have triumphed. So when you tell your story, I would love to hear it from a hero's journey.
That is so sweet. That's really cool. That is so cool. Awesome. So your name, the number of razors you sold, and what your hero's journey was like.
Okay, so my name is Abhinav Claudius. I'm from Bhilai, Chhattisgarh.
Welcome, Abhinav. Welcome.
And we sold near about 675 razors. Finally bought, and like 50 to 80% stock are in the B2B segments. What we realized is like when we went to sell the razors, Bhilai, it's a very cost-centric market. Okay, so वहाँ पे wholesaler के पास मैं गया, like ये ना नया brand है, Indian brand है, वहाँ से जिलेट है, 350 रुपये में वो दे रहा है, वही सेम चीज़ 99 में मिल रही है और बाल नहीं फंसते इसमें. मैंने यूज़ किया, मेरे को डिफरेंस लगा. 350 वाले रेजर में मेरी हालत ख़राब हो जाती थी उसके पीछे को दबा के लाइक बाल निकालने में. एंड दिस वाज लाइक वेरी इजी टू यूज़. सो आई वाज लाइक गोइंग विद ऑल दिस एंड दी वाज लाइक भैया मेरे पास ना जिलेट गार्ड है. ठीक है, 60 रुपये का आता है. ये बेचने का प्राइस है, आपको 25 में दूँ. लाइक तो चलो कोई और दुकान में चलते हैं. तो ऐसे करके हमने भिलाई, रायपुर के काफ़ी सारे शॉप्स में अपने प्रोडक्ट्स रखवा दिए. हर एरिया में घूम देंगे. सब ने अगर 3 भी रख दिए ना तो हो गए 600-700. इट वाज लाइक मेरा माइंड में ये था हाँ कि 2-3 ही बेच दो, 10 मत बेचो, क्योंकि नया ब्रांड है, हर कोई रखेगा नहीं नया. लाइक 3 रख लो. किसी को मैंने 1 भी बेचा है, लाइक खाली हाथ नहीं जाऊँगा.
This is the crime master go-go rule of sales. For a sales rep. बड़ी दूर से आया हूँ, बिना कुछ बेचे नहीं जाऊँगा.
It was like, so I used all the social media free lectures to get about MBA. What is MBA? Because मैंने अपने फ्रेंड से पूछा MBA कर लूँ, मतलब ज़्यादा कुछ सिखाते नहीं है. तो लाइक कि ठीक है फिर तो ऐसे ही पढ़ के फिर करते हैं. तो इट वॉज लाइक नाइस लर्निंग. कुछ पढ़े और वही सब लॉजिक लगाते गए. वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन पे खेला, मेड इन इंडिया पे खेला. अरे अपना ही फाउंडर है, इंडियन है, इंडियन कंपनी. अभी आप लोग सपोर्ट नहीं करोगे तो कैसे अमेरिकन के हटाएंगे फिर. इट वॉज लाइक दैट. इट वॉज अ नाइस जर्नी.
Very nice, Abhinav. Welcome. Well, very well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Thomas Koshi. I've sold 2,500 razors. That is definitely, I think it's always the teamwork. I think everyone involved who helped me. I think how it started was we were like, hey, we saw the opportunity, we saw the competition. We were like, hey, all right, we'll just give it a shot. We might get a chance to talk to Shantanu, maybe kind of see how we can get out there. And then it started with friends and family, WhatsApp groups. That's how it all started. And then I think from there we evolved getting on field. That's how we kind of started the journey after that. When we went on field, we realized that, I had my co-founder as well. So he was like, hey, let's just give it a shot. Let's get out there. And he's the one who shot the first reel for us. We got on the field and, there was a lot of times, there's a lot of rejections. Everyone was like, hey, no, not interested. But everyone knew what Bombay Shaving Company was. Everyone was really attracted to the packaging. So we just, we started approaching everyone, and then we realized that if we kept doing this for the next 2 months, we could probably just reach a cap of maybe 200, 300. And that's when I started seeing Dharampal, kind of shooting up. I'm like, okay, I can't. Dharampal, he was always number one. I'm like, okay, how do I kind of cross this? Then we kind of started the smart work kind of method. Then I got my team involved, and then everyone started reaching out to retail outlets, all the mom and pop shops. We had orders, I think, all the way from Bihar, Indore, Ranchi, Chennai, Bangalore. We also sent a consignment to Bahrain. That's a friend of mine. I think 50%, as in 1,200 of the orders happened on the last 2 days of the competition. That was because I think I had a friend, as a couple of friends, they saw me on the second. I think Mahesh was topping the charts. And my friends are like, he was topping the charts. And my friends are like, hey, I can't let this happen. You've been working hard for this. How do we help? And then they immediately got their connections. And Mumbai, I got a lot of orders from Mumbai. And yeah, I think that the final 3-4 days, that last stretch, we just shot up from, I think, 1,000 to 2,000, 2,500.
It's like preparing for an exam, right? Like the largest unlock happens like in the last 24 hours.
Basically, it's like cricket. अगर आप चेस कर रहे हो और आप विराट कोहली हो तो आप चेस कर लोगे ना. Correct. पर टारगेट पता होना चाहिए.
Awesome. Yes, sir.
मैंने तो कुछ ज़्यादा जल्दी शुरू नहीं किया, शायद 15-20 दिन हुए हैं, ज़्यादा नहीं सर. मैंने महेश और आपको बात करते हुए देखा लाइव इंस्टाग्राम पे. दीप्ति, महेश आपके साथ बात कर रहे थे, तब मैंने जैसे इनका इंस्टाग्राम का लाइव आपका चैट ख़त्म हुआ तो मैंने मैसेज किया, सर मैं बेच सकता हूँ, 1000 से ज़्यादा तो मैं ही बेच सकता हूँ. तो मैंने मंगा लिया. पहले 300 का लॉट मंगाया, फिर लास्ट में कुछ मेरे को ऑर्डर था. मैंने ज़्यादातर सर B2B में ही सेल किया. तो मैंने अपने लड़कों को बुलाया रेज़र बेचने. बोला खाना बेचते हैं, चावल बेचते हैं हम तो कोहिनूर का, तो ये कैसे बेचेंगे? तो मैंने बोला नहीं बेचेंगे, कुछ करेंगे, कुछ स्कीम लगाएंगे कि 100 किलो पे ये फ्री देंगे एक रेज़र. तो वैसे किया. और आपका आई वॉज थिंकिंग दैट दिस इज़ द दिवाली टाइम, एवरीवन वांट्स टू गिफ्ट सम ऑफ देयर एम्प्लॉइज़. या तो मैंने कांटेक्ट किया 1-2 फार्मा कंपनीज़ को कि भाई आप गिफ्ट दे रहे हो, चावल तो दे रहे हो, मेरे से लिया था तो चावल तो दे रहे हो, तो मेरा रेज़र लाया हूँ मैं अच्छा सा, तो वो दो. बोला यार जिलेट का यूज़ करते हैं सब लोग, तो अभी तो ये तो नया कंपनी है, कैसे ट्राई करेंगे? मैंने बोला यूज़ करके देखो. मैंने 5 भेज दी, मेरे को ऑर्डर दे दिया उन्होंने 600 का. तो मैंने लास्ट टाइम पे सर ऑर्डर मैंने लास्ट टाइम इसीलिए ही प्लेस किया, भाई लास्ट में ही मैं प्लेस करूँगा फटाफट और टॉप ऑफ द चार्ट्स पे.
वाओ, वेल डन यार, वेल. ये लोकेशनल एडवांटेज भी है फार्मा कंपनीज इन अहमदाबाद.
फार्मा कंपनीज बहुत हैं वहाँ पे बावला में. हाँ, इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया बहुत है, तो इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया में ही ट्राई कर रहा था. मैंने ज़्यादातर B2B सेल किया है और अभी तक मैंने 1500 रेजर्स खरीदे हैं, उसमें से मैंने 900 बेच दिए हैं, 600 का लॉट पड़ा है. अभी वो निकालूंगा, वो रिटेल करूँगा, मैं खुद करूँगा मार्केट, ऐसा सोच रहा हूँ मैं.
वेरी नाइस यार, वेल डन राहुल, वेरी वेल डन. यस महेश.
मेरा नाम महेश है, मैं भी एक सेल्समैन ही हूँ नॉर्मली. पर जब आपका रील्स देखा तो पता चला कि अरे मैं भी रेजर बेच सकता हूँ, ये तो डेली का काम है, ये तो बहुत अच्छा काम है. तो बेसिकली मैंने 100 पीसेस मंगाए स्टार्टिंग में, तो मेडिकल्स पे जाके दिखाया तो उनको अच्छा लगा, पैकेजिंग अच्छा है. और यही बताया कि जिलेट मैक्स 3 से कंपेयर करके उनको प्राइसिंग करके, रोज़ का काम था, डेली का काम. तो उनको 10 पीसेस, एक मेडिकल पे 10, सेकंड पे 10, ऐसे बचते करते सेल होते गया. और कंटिन्यूसली सब रिटेलर्स को कन्विंस करना बहुत हार्ड होता है, पर क्या कंटिन्यूसली में 7-7 ईयर से ये काम कर रहा हूँ, ये फील्ड में FMCG में हूँ. सेट रखो ना, 10 पीस रखो, सेट दिखेगा, सेट रखो ना, सेट तो वो लैंग्वेज में. और फिर एक क्लोज रिलेशनशिप के कारण कंटिन्यूसली बिकते गया. और कार्ट्रिज की भी इंक्वायरीज बहुत है, अभी मैंने कार्ट्रिज के ऑर्डर पेंडिंग से, तो और कार्ट्रिज भी अच्छे सेल हो गए. और रेजर बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट है सर, आपका पैकेजिंग भी बहुत बेस्ट है.
थैंक यू सो मच. बट एक बात महेश, आपका ये बताओ, आपने आदि शुड लिसन टू हिज स्टोरी अराउंड, कैसे किस टाइम पे आप जाते थे, सुबह भी जाते थे, रात को जाते थे, कैसे, टेल मी अबाउट योर मोटिवेशन टू बी इन द मार्केट फॉर दैट लॉन्ग.
मैं 2 जगह जॉब करता हूँ, एक तो मेडिकल स्टोर है और फर्स्ट FMCG डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है, जो 9 बजे हमको मार्केट में निकलना होता है फॉर ऑर्डरिंग के लिए, कलेक्शन के लिए. उसी साइड में हम बैग कैरी करके लेके जाता था. तो दूसरे का ऑर्डर लेने के बाद, दूसरा रेजर सर, ये मेरा रेजर है स्पेशली, मैं खुद ही स्पेशली बेच रहा हूँ, सेल करना चाहता हूँ, अच्छा प्रोडक्ट है जिलेट की कंपैरिजन में. उसके बाद कंटिन्यूसली बेचने के बाद दूसरा जॉब 9 to 5 6 to 12 मेडिकल में जॉब करता हूँ फॉर एक्सपीरियंस, मेडिकल सेल कैसा है, रिटेल कैसा है, और होलसेल और रिटेल दोनों सीखना चाहता हूँ, दोनों बढ़ना चाहता हूँ, इसके लिए रिटेल में जॉब
9 to 5 and then 6 to 12 in the night. और फिर ये काम कब किया फिर आपने?
वही मिडिल में जब साथ में
कलेक्शन के लिए
जाता था।
तो जब आप रखते थे आप उनको बेचते थे, ये भी बोलते थे कि ये सामने रख दीजिए एक पीस?
खुद लगाता था सर, उनके साथ रिलेशन था ना हमारा 7 इयर्स के, 7 साल से मैं ये काम कर रहा हूँ। अरे सेट रखो, अरे सेट उधर नहीं इधर रखो, तो एक होता है, तो प्रोडक्ट अच्छा है, मार्केट में भी अवेलेबल होना चाहिए।
Wow. So Razorpreneur season 2, season 3 will be far more expanded. तो आप जब आपके पास आपके कस्टमर जाओगे, you will have more ammunition to go into the market. So, हाँ. Yes, Dharampal. The quietest of the gang till now.
माय नेम इज़ धर्मपाल गुजर और मैं FI BCom का स्टूडेंट हूँ KPB हिंदुजा कॉलेज मुंबई में। तो मेरी सेलिंग की जर्नी ऐसे स्टार्ट होती है कि मैं आपको पहले से फॉलो करता था काफ़ी टाइम पहले से, तभी मैं आपका ये वाला जो हाउ टू सेल इंडिया, ये थंबनेल देख के मुझे लगा कुछ सिखाएंगे सेल करने के लिए। मैं वो सेल करने के बाद मुझे नहीं पता कि हम लोग को ही सेल करना है जाके। तो मैंने देखा आपका, तो फिर मैंने पहले 25 पीसेस ऑर्डर किए थे, तो फिर वो मेरे फ्रेंड्स के अंदर ही मैंने बेच दिए सारे कॉलेज के अंदर जाके। फिर मैंने प्रोफेसर्स को बेचा हमारे कॉलेज के, और मरीन ड्राइव पे जाके बेचा मैंने। तो एक बार ऐसा हुआ कि मैं मरीन ड्राइव पे लोगों को जाके पूछता था कि आप कौन सा रेजर यूज़ करते हो, तो काफ़ी लोग बोलते थे मैं जिलेट का यूज़ करता हूँ, और काफ़ी लोग मेरे को बोलते थे मैं तो 2 रुपये वाला यूज़ करता हूँ, लाता हूँ काटता हूँ, मेरा 2 रुपये में एक बार में काम हो जाता है, तो मैं 100 रुपये का क्यों लूँ देने से। तो वहाँ पे यार मैंने काफ़ी सेल किया, लेकिन स्पीच तो काफ़ी किया था, लेकिन वहाँ पे ज़्यादा सेल नहीं हो पाया। मैंने 2-3 घंटों के अंदर 10-15 से पता नहीं 5 या 10 कितने तो मैंने सेल किए थे। फिर मैंने लोकल ट्रेन के अंदर भी जाके सेल किया था, वहाँ पे भी सेल किया। फिर मैंने वहाँ पे
लोकल ट्रेन का एक्सपीरियंस कैसा था आपका? फोटो तो काफ़ी देखे मैंने, बट कैसा था वो एक्सपीरियंस?
अच्छा था, मतलब लोग इतने ज़्यादा दिखाते नहीं, सब फ़ोन में लगे रहते हैं।
मुंबई लोकल्स
इंटरेस्ट दिखाता नहीं कोई भी।
आगे चल।
उसके बाद वो क्या मुंबई लोकल के अंदर क्या कोई भी लोग चढ़ जाते हैं सेल करने के लिए, कोई कुछ बेच रहा है, कोई 5 रुपये, कोई कान साफ करने वाला बेच रहा है, कोई कुछ बेच रहा है। तो लोग ज़्यादा सीरियस लेते नहीं, सोचते कि कहीं से सस्ता माल उठा के लाया होगा, नकली माल है, मेरे को चिपका के चला जाएगा। लोकल ट्रेन के अंदर लोगों की थिंकिंग ये ज़्यादा रहती है।
तो वहाँ पे नहीं किया आपने? इतना ट्राई किया लेकिन इतना नहीं हुआ।
हुआ, लेकिन इतना ज़्यादा मैं जितना सोच रहा था उतना नहीं हो पाया। और फिर मैंने B2B किया, तो मैंने B2B के अंदर थोड़ा सेल कर पाया था। मेरा ऑलरेडी मैं हैंडीक्राफ्ट बिजनेस करता हूँ, मतलब राजस्थान से हैंडीक्राफ्ट प्रोडक्ट मंगाता हूँ, और महाराष्ट्र के अंदर हमारे एरिया के अंदर सेल डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करता हूँ B2B। तो उन लोगों के पास मैंने रखा, तो वहाँ पे अच्छा खासा सेल हो रहा था। तो ऐसे ही कर करके मैंने 780 रेजर सेल किए थे।
वेरी वेल डन, वेरी वेल डन, थैंक यू। यस,
My name is Dipti Verma. I've sold 1080 razors. Wow. So the first lot was 30 razors just for a trial. I think on 15th of September I placed an order, and there was an event going on just beside my house, and it was a completely women flea event. I just went there and I told I want to sell these razors to the owner. She's like, no, you have to book a stall and all. But I'm like, no, I'm participating it and I want to do it. And it is specifically women oriented only. It is called Fula event, where 1,50,000 women are there in this, and they all do businesses. Oh, wow. So yeah, and it's just a flea market event, and it's a a Facebook group page where all women sell all their products from home itself. So then I told them I want to do it. So they're like, okay, you want to do it? They gave me a table on the spot, and within 2 hours I sold all 30 razors. The founder told me that get more razors and sell, it is going very well. So I'm like, I don't have more razors, I'll do it later. Then I ordered 500 lot. Wow. And
I remember that. Someone shouted, कि Razorpreneur का 500 का order आ गया पुणे से। I was like, yes, my city is moving forward. I remember that very well.
And after that, there was again an event, which was a day and a night event. So event used to start at morning 11 and end at evening 11 o'clock. And it was completely event where the footfall was around 25,000 people in 5 days.
Oh, wow.
And it was extremely difficult for me to sell razors to a men. So specifically, being a girl selling to a woman was much easier than being a girl selling it to the men and convincing them that you need this product. It is actually good. But then I managed to sell around 600 razors in 5 days over
That's
there.
amazing. That's
And
amazing.
out of which, I think 60 or 70 customers were repeat customers who came second day, took more to razors and went. And actually gave me a feedback of razors are really nice, this and that. And while selling razors, one thing I did was I used to just keep that razor open, demonstrate it, how it opens, how it is closing, what is the flexibility of the razor, what are the blades and everything. And then it, so first, second, it was very slow. And I'm like, I'm spending day and night here. What should I do? Will I sell this or no? Will this happen or no? But then slowly, I started gaining more confidence in selling it to men, basically. And then it took it off. They tried, some of them they literally tried the products on their hands by saying, does it actually work? And the box is so, what we say, lightweight. People literally open and see, isme hai ya nahi hai. But then overall, a really good experience. Very ground experience of sales. I think nothing more you can experience than this. In sales specifically.
Thank you, Dipti. Thank you so much. Very nice. Thank you so much. But to have the kind of, I could never imagine selling makeup. I could never imagine selling women's products to women or to men because it's so difficult. But for you to do it, and I remember your journey, we spoke along the way as well, but to see you do it with so much confidence and to take failure in your stride. I remember when you had said, yaar, khareed nahi raha hai, main koi cartridge chahiye, wo chahiye. And also I had a soft corner given the Pune connection, but it's amazing to see you do it. And also we'll talk about the business that you run as well. Sure. But thank you so much.
So for your journey, I think there's a very interesting insight, which some of us may have known, but I don't think it was top of mind, that there is women also use men's razors. Yes. And from a previous life, I have this learning as well. And what sometimes they do is that the stick is the same, but basically the cartridge may be personalized.
Oh, is it?
Yes, because why buy 2 sticks? Both people are not in the bathroom at the same time. So, therefore, as long as your the cartridge fits, you could have it pink without the pink tags, in a sense, right? And the same thing could work. So, from your perspective, given that you are the only lady in this group, did you feel that most of what you sold, what percentage of what you sold would have been used by women, and what percentage would have, do you think would have been 20%?
20%.
That's sizable.
Now, just check this out. So, nobody else so far would have made that insight that 20% of what I am selling. But if that is not true of the others, that's 20% incremental. And it just shows you that having more diversity at the table unlocks true value.
Yes, Krishna. What's your story?
So hello everyone, I'm Krishna from Assam, and everyone knows that Assam is typically famous for its tea lips. So 3 months ago, I started my own venture where I'm a salesman, where we sell tea lips of the best quality at the lowest of price. So coincidentally,
Is it a brand or is it?
No, it's just tea lips.
Okay.
Okay, so I will be starting my own branding with the help of my uncles, and so coincidentally, so just like my idol, both of our journey started the same way, where I just like you go district to district, home to home. Kirana dukan to kirana dukan, where I used to showcase my product. Hello, uncle, हम चाय पत्ती लाए हैं, भागो यहाँ से, अब बहुत काम है मेरे पास, बहुत स्टॉक पर है. And then many times I used to sit 1 hour, 2 hour customer nikhe so that I can pitch my product. So well over 3 months, I made good relationship with many kirana dukans of all over my regions in Assam, lower Assam particularly. So I wasn't able to scale up my product. So I wanted to give something for free. In India, we all know everyone who doesn't love free things. Yeah. Free, सबको रख लेगा. So after that, I saw his the Razorpreneur challenge. So ऐसा हमको बेचना थोड़ी ना है. एक बार उसका हाथ में आ जाए, आदत लग जाए, उसका जाएगा कहाँ? आएगा तो मेरे पास ही. So I bought 900 of them. So with every 10 kgs, I gave one free. आदत लगने दो. I know हमको बेचना थोड़ी ना. I know जिले तुले है. I believe in the sensibility tree. like product अच्छा बिकेगा. भैया ये हम लाया आपके इधर रखो, use करना. So once the customer, once the kirana dukan, he's confident himself in the product, he will sell it. He will forcefully sell it. भैया ये अच्छा है. So I was like, चाय पत्ती भी मेरा अच्छा था ही. So he had trust on me. ये 10 kg free है. So he kept. He's like, okay, अच्छा है, 10 बीज में देगा. So my story went on like this, and like, हम बेचा नहीं, हम आधा डलवा रहे.
Wow.
And that उसका cartridges will come. So every product he invents, I can sell it everywhere I want because I have the distribution channel. I have my own goodwill in the market, and everything went perfectly on timing.
Very well done. Well done, yeah.
Because there was something I believe think outside the box. I leveraged my product with his product, and coincidentally everything was actually perfect. So I saved the money because in 10 kg I saved around 60 to 70 rupees. So he cancelled and everything.
Oh, wow.
And मैं profit कमाने का मैं एकदम इरादा नहीं था. I just wanted to have the experience. And I started my own firm, which is Royal Assam Tea, and hope you will have it.
Yeah, but Assam mein, is the hair density lower than, for example, western part of India?
No, it's larger.
It's larger, is it?
Yeah, save, everyone saves.
Everyone shaves.
And he's 18. He's just 18.
Yeah, I'm first year of law. I just started.
Yeah, you sound. Where do you study?
In my just nearby law college. Because
In
when I mean law हो जाएगा मेरा, I know. And for me, like business is my first priority because I come from a typically entrepreneur family, which is Marwari. So खून में है मेरा.
And you're born and brought up in Assam.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Santhosh.
So ये सब after listening all the stories, मेरा तो सब mix लग रहा. Actually, I started late. 3 महीने पहले मेरा I started my own company. मेरा एक community है. I have a YouTube channel, like 20K subscribers are there. So I was planning to launch a T-shirt brand. So एक 6 months से उसका plan चल रहा था. Exactly 2 months before I launched that company. So Dasara festival is there last month. I was like मैं एक plan कर रहा था कि ये कुछ offer लगाएंगे, and I have already a loyal community. I know that some sales will come because I built over the time, like 18 months I was doing content. I posted more than 350 videos. So it went good. So मैं सोचा कि अरे टी शर्ट तो खरीदता, मैक्सिमम नॉर्मल ऑफर क्या रहता कि 2+1, नहीं तो एक खरीदे तो सेकंड पे 50% ऑफ, ये तो है, लेकिन कुछ डिफरेंट करेंगे. वही टाइम पे आई सॉ द रेजरप्रेन्योर चैलेंज. Then I thought, yeah, we'll mix something t-shirt and razor because t-shirt will typically go to, like, my audience are like between 20 to 35, my community who are watching my channel. So then I launched, I kept I made some crazy posters of my Fig and Shantanu speak together, razor and t-shirt together. And company name, by the way. Yeah, my company name is Caveman Studios. This is a video production company actually. So I have other brand Mad Ape. That's a t-shirt company. Then I launched the offer that t-shirt खरीदो and razor मिलेगा. नहीं तो razor खरीदो t-shirt मिलेगा. ऐसा. Then I got like 100 orders. मैं पहला 300 का लगाया था. I ordered 300 lot. ओके ये हो गया, 1 वीक में हो गया. दिस इज नाउ ये तो है, लेकिन दूसरा कुछ चैनल ढूंढना, ये तो चल रहा, लेकिन टू बी इन द कॉम्पिटिशन आई नीड अदर चैनल. देन आई वॉज थिंकिंग वॉट कनेक्शंस आई हैव. सडनली मेरे को याद आया कि मैं कैसे इसको भूल गया. मेरा मामा 20 साल से डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर है इन करीमनगर. एंड द क्रेजिएस्ट थिंग इज ही इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर फॉर जिलेट फॉर 5 years. Then I understood, let's play on the credibility of Mama. Because उसका 20 कंपनीज है, बहुत कंपनीज उसके पास आता कि हमारा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ले लो, बट उन्होंने नहीं लेता because he know that which brand will sell, survive. Then I went to him, I said that I want to monetize on your retail network. उसका 450 to 500 रिटेल शॉप्स का है. अगर मामा जाके बोलता कि ये रखो तो वो लोग रखता, उतना क्रेडिबिलिटी है. देन आई सेड या एक काम करेंगे, विल नॉट टेक द मनी, विल आस्क द रिटेलर टू कीप 2 or 3 packs. आफ्टर सेलिंग ओनली विल टेल हिम टू गिव द मनी. सो नॉर्मली बोले तो ही रखता, अगर फ्री में रखो बोले तो कंपलसरी रखता. आई सेड टू मामा कि अगर ये बेचा, इफ यू स्टार्ट सेलिंग नो, मैं आपको ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूशनशिप दिलाता. वहाँ में अमेरिका करीमनगर में. मामा इज ऑल्सो एक्साइटेड, चलो ट्राई करेंगे, यू आर सेइंग दैट दिस इज गुड कंपनी. देन आई वेंट एंड रिटेलर्स केप्ट इन द शॉप. सो दिस ये टी शर्ट्स में ये चैनल में चल रहा, एंड आई स्टार्टेड दिस, एंड गेट क्रैश करा कि थोड़ा मेरा इन माई नेटवर्क आई नो सम रिटेल जनरल स्टोर्स. So I went into them also. I kept all over in all channels I tried, and I sold around 10 razors.
Wow, very nice. What's your story, man? What's your hero story?
Actually, it's a very zero story. I think I was at a stage where I was broke. I did not have any business opportunity on the table, and nobody wanted to hire me. And I was shocked. I was walked out of executive rooms, and I was like, why are you not accepting a guy this good? I had built 3 companies, I've done so many things, I've gotten a national award, yada, yada, yada. Why don't you hire me? And almost always they would say, hey, look, you'd be a great fit, but we feel you would not stick around long enough. And if you do stick around long enough, you'll end up running the company or leaving the company and building something on your own. And it was so hard to find a jump into something else. And I was really at a corner. I was like, okay, wait, there has to be something where I could prove people, boss, no, there is a lot more potential that I have, and I can do things quickly. And that's where I've been bugging Shantanu for a long time. From his first episode, I was like, hey, I want to understand your process. I've been DMing him. He sees my DM and then he replies something, but he never takes my call. You know? So, and I'm used to it. I understand. And so my philosophy has always been either the founder will come on my show or he will pass away. I will follow up until his death or her death.
That is really morbid.
I mean, touch wood. It has helped me chase guests forever.
Kill them.
Yeah, with a good episode. So I was like, I want to cap my downside because I had no money. So I called up and I said, hey, listen. And I thought, what do I tell him? So he even takes my call. I said, okay, I'll sell 5,000 razors. But here's my condition. If I can't sell it, you'll take it back. Send me an email and I'll start. So it took a week or 2. He sent it to me finally saying, okay, agreement, theek hai, done. So I was like, theek hai, paisa kitna bhi dalunga, dubega nahi. That's when I liquidated my stocks and placed a order of 100. And once I got it, I realized a lot of other people would do B2B. They would go on the road and sell. I did that for one day and I felt so bad. Because I have tolerance for rejection, but not so much that people won't even give me eye contact. The first moment I had 100 razors, I told to a few of the friends, women friends in my group, and all of them bought it. Like 5, 1, 2, 3, they bought it. And I was like, wait, why are you girls buying it? And that's when one of the ladies told me, listen, I only use men's razor. I was like, why? And she's like, listen, Puneeth, there's something where a product is made for men, but then the people realize, oh wait, even women use this. So they add a curve and a pink color and a digit next to it. And they sell, like pink tags. I was like, kya insight hai? I will stop selling to men. I'll only sell to women. And the next thing I did was, I confidently went and started talking to women. And I would have never believed it. I was like, मैं बस मस्ती से बात करता हूँ, खरीद लेते हैं. And another group that I really found interesting was in B2B space was, and this comes back to you, thanks for using, I use his brand name without asking him. I work a lot with IIM Bangalore for my podcast, and I realized they have a store that is run by students completely. And so I reached out to students saying, okay, where other stores are there? Turns out IIM Lucknow has a student-run store. So I called the person who was running it, and he was like, sir, I have these rules I have to follow. There is so much paperwork and all. And I was like, boss, Shantanu was in your college 1 week back, no? And he told me, oh, he's also an alumni. I'm like, तेरे alumni का product है ना? रख ना. He's like, okay, sir, I'll leave all the paperwork aside, I'll keep it. He ordered 100. I was like, amazing.
Awesome, man.
That was my pitch.
How many did you sell eventually?
800.
Wow. And did Abhinav take back the remaining?
I still have 15 days based on the email.
But well done, Puneeth. Thank you so much for sharing this extremely detailed.
Amazing story.
Yeah.
And what an amazing use of the hero's story. Because always in the hero story, which is always the most convincing story, there's always a question कि hero जंगल में है, जंगल में शेर है, hero बचेगा या नहीं. Right? So that intrigue and that drama, thank you for bringing that to us.
Pleasure is yours.
Pleasure is yours. Very cool, man. Very, very cool. Very cool. Very well done. Very well. We'll go around the table to Harsh, who's brought these amazing Himalayan water thing. But thank you, Puneeth. Thank you so much for sharing, man.
So exactly same. The story remains the same. B2B selling is the key to selling so many razors. So I was in the process of coming up with my own startup, which was again a philanthropic marketing channel. And while doing this, we were going to launch this brand in probably next year, first month. But we preponed it because of Razorpreneur. We thought this was one of the biggest opportunities for us also to test the market, having one brand already on board. But the things were not going as it was planned because it was slow. The concept is very new. People are not trusting the product inside it. Water never been sold in a can was also a new thing. And probably water in India is sold when it's visible because they think the clarity of water is to be seen. So this was not pushing much. First, I thought of selling razors in the start, but I was probably the last entrant of the competition because I didn't have an idea to sell it to whom should I sell it to, and I don't have pre-hand experience of sale on ground. My background being I'm an urban planner, I am an urban designer. I probably sell ideas and concepts to government agencies and not a product to anyone. So I left all of that. I started going to chain of stores. I started going to stores which have a chain of stores and where they have a super stockist. And I then cracked 2 medical stores which are in Bombay, which probably had a super stockist, but they still didn't accept the product or neither my sales page or nothing. They kept the cans, they kept everything, but the cans were going, the razors weren't, and people were not coming back. Then I thought of giving it for free. I said, you take the stock, I'll give you 60 days credit. You take the stock, whenever it sells, you give me the money. Every time I used to go, I used to get some or the other payment, either for the razor or for the can, because some or the other I had to bill them, right? So it was just me to go and ask them for something, and just I got some payment for keeping my cycle going. Then it took me 1 month, 15 days to just crack one particular chain of store in Bombay, and that was my first big order. They took 900 razors at once and they just sent it 10 razors to their each shop. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to convince them and go to their shop for the last, I think, 35 days. And every time I used to go, I used to either ask for payment for this or I used to ask कि अब razors बेच लो, razors try कर लो, shift कर लो इस पे. You try it out, because my goal was not to sell one razor at a time, because that was a very time consuming thing for me, and probably I didn't have the skill also to convince them with the product. So that is how I started, and then that got cracked. So this was the first product for me also on the branding side, where the product went on the shelf. We have shot an entire video of that, of how the person sees the ad in the shop, and that is, it's like a phygital economy where how you click an ad on the link online, this is like how you see the ad on the store and you just buy the product at the store itself. So how that correlates to the entire system is what I wanted to try it out, and that exactly worked out.
How many cans did you sell?
So the cans, I sold 1200 cans in...
so more than the razors.
1100 razors. So 100 razors.
And why didn't you build a more explicit link between the cans and the razors? So I saw you have a QR code here, but why not on the can have a QR code that connects back to Shantanu's website and get the credit for all those also?
So exactly, I didn't have the permission to put this also, so I just had a call with Charu in there, and I just told her this is what it is and this has gone. And I didn't have the permission, so I didn't put any QR or anything, because I don't know what legal issues the company would come behind me with. So
this would affiliate the whole thing out, no, fully.
Correct.
So that is how I didn't use it completely. I just used the poster banner, which is, so our concept is a mini billboard in our hands. So all the billboards which you have put in are the posters which we have sold on the.
So actually, you sold 2,400 units.
Correct.
It's just that 1,200 of them were not razors.
But I think they are pseudo razors in a way, right?
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
So the price point is 10 rupees in the market. So that is how we are also competing with our other beverage brands in the market, and we want to compete at that price point only.
Amazing, Harsh. Thank you so much, man. Really well done. Really well done. I do want to talk about the. So there are 3-4 themes that came out in my mind. One was that a lot of razorpreneurs around the table actually have allied businesses, which, so either a business or you're working with a business, or you're working with handicrafts or with tea leaves or with rice, and we're kind of taking, or in your case, you have a content business that you're taking forward, right? So this attracted a lot of people who already had a channel or path through the customer, through Flex, for example, and you bought. But 2-3 other themes that came out for me, right, was one, selling to different kind of customers. So selling to women, Puneeth, Dipti for you, for example, who's very clear. We have people from around the country, from Bhilai to Assam, from Pune to Hyderabad to Bombay. So we have Ahmedabad, we have Bangalore, like we have everyone. But the insights remain rather consistent. One of the things that you guys are talking about in the break, which is quite unfortunate, was the concept of credit. And you've said that, hey, credit is important and it's what drives economy, which is true to some extent. And Adi, you were saying that, hey, hold on, credit actually dilutes the approach. But tell me what do you think about it? What has been your experience in either taking credit from Bombay Shaving Company, which is what you did, for example, to giving it to your customers who probably would have given it forward, and so on. Did you feel it was fuel?
Yeah, so selling it to credit becomes easy because, okay, I don't want to stuck my money on something new product. So credit gives me confidence. Okay, अगर नहीं बिका तो सामने वाला वापस रिटर्न ले लेगा. बिक गया तो अच्छा है, तो बिका पैसा आया, so whatever payment is, he will make and he will earn the profit. So credit gives the power of rolling. So if suppose you give me 100 rupees of inventory in credit for 30 days, what if I roll it 2 times? So I have the credit for 2 times and I can roll. I can make double profit with your money, your stock, and my chain. Correct. So credit gives you the power to leverage others' money to make profit for yourself. So it's great for the debtors, but loss making for those who give credits.
मेरे को यही रियलाइज़ हुआ कि मेरे बचपन से आज तक मैंने जहाँ खरीदे थे, वहाँ पे जाके सबसे पहले मैंने सेल किया कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड करने के लिए कि ये लोग तो चेहरे पे ले लेंगे, क्योंकि आगे भी सामान खरीदना है मेरे को इनसे. बट देन न्यू एरियाज़ में इवन फॉर क्रेडिट मेरे को प्रॉब्लम क्या लगा, दे आर वेरी वेल. जैसे जिलेट का कुछ स्कीम होता है पहले कि 1.5 महीने का साइकिल है या आई थिंक 45 डेज का साइकिल है, आई डोंट नो द एग्जैक्ट थिंग्स, बट वो लोग ऐसा ट्रेंड है. अभी जैसे मैंने एक बंदे को क्रेडिट पे दिया, वो पुश ही नहीं कर रहा, उसको क्या है, पड़ा हुआ है.
Now the different aspect to this is credit works when you have a marketing lined up for your product. Another, if there's a awareness about the product already in the market, if it is a consumable product very fast, people may tend to try it. Yes, this is a different brand, packaging looks nice, let's try it. Second is to push that product, not only just your shopkeeper will push it, you yourself will also have to put a lot of efforts in making your brand awareness and a lot of marketing by giving shopkeeper like goodies or marketing articles or pamphlets or something through which the customer at least the product goes through customer's eyes. Yes, this is a brand, and then it starts pushing, and then the shopkeeper will say ki I will push 50%, but 50% is totally your work to push or do a marketing kind of a thing, activities and everything.
चीज़ तब सही है जब अगर मेरा होलसेल का बिजनेस है तो मैं तो सब कर दूं. क्यों? क्योंकि मेरे को 5 साल 10 साल यही बिजनेस करना है. लाइक सपोज दिस वाज अ टास्क, लाइक मेरे को बेचना है और आई हैव टू गेट बैक, क्योंकि ये मैं इसलिए कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं कुछ और करना चाहता हूँ, उसके लिए मैं यहाँ से फंड कर लूँ.
This is short term.
Yeah, this is a short term thing. So it was very tough.
You could have marketed. I have sent videos of which is there on website ना, वो भेज दिए थे मैंने shopkeepers को सबको.
This credit thing is actually quite a important thing to understand, and it's not just about small business or distributor. It's about every business, right? So I'm going to give you an example of one example and one concept, and we can chat about it. So the example was we were selling product, let's call that brand X, और हम बेच रहे थे wholesale को, let's call it 100 rupees, ठीक है. और the way we were selling it was कि अभी बेच दिया, एक महीने का आपको credit दिया, और उसके बाद basically you pay, and broadly एक महीने बाद you will buy more, right? So that cycle. Okay. Suddenly वो product market में started becoming available for 85 rupees, 90 rupees. So we were like, इतना सस्ता कहाँ है, हम तो नहीं बेच रहे, हमारा कोई distributor भी नहीं बेच रहा. So a big investigation. What we finally found was कि wholesaler क्या कर रहा था, one wholesaler, वो हमसे 100 रुपये का उसने लिया, ठीक है. तो उसने क्या किया कि उसने 85 का बेच दिया, 85 का उसको आज कैश मिल गया. अब उसने 85 रुपीज़ का एक जो बहुत उस टाइम बिक रहा था, लेट्स कॉल इट पान पसंद उसने 85 रुपीज़ का खरीद लिया, 3% बनाया, 87 में बेच दिया. 5% का प्राइस मार्केट में 90 था, पर वो इतना शॉर्ट में था कि उसको कैश मिलता था. तो उसने 3 रुपये बनाया और उसको 89 रुपीज़ मिल गया, ठीक है. फिर उसने अगले दिन फिर से 3 रुपये बनाया और अगले दिन फिर से 3 रुपये बनाया. एट द एंड ऑफ 30 days द गाय हैड मेड 100 rupees, driven our price down to 85 rupees and paid us 100 rupees and made 85 rupees, 85% profit in 1 month. So this is the story of credit. So when you think about return on investment, not just for a small business, but a large business, there are two components. One component is what unit margin you make. In this case, the guy was making 3%. The second is how many times you make it, which is the rotation. So he was rotating his money one time every day. In a year, he would rotate his money 365 times. And if he made 3%, multiplied by 365 times, he would make 1,000% margin, 10 times the original investment. So if you find the right products to ride upon, which have demand on one side and which have rich people who can give you credit on the other side, you can make a lot of money.
It's called earns versus turns, right?
Earns versus
how much you
turns.
earn versus how often you turn.
I want to add one thing here. So my mama had a strategy. He will only give one bill credit. So अभी रिटेलर है, बिल टू बिल. सो उसका 10 कंपनी है, 10 कंपनी डिफरेंट फॉर्मेट्स में, लाइक चावल है, ऑयल है, डिफरेंट. अभी रिटेलर को सब एक ही रिटेलर सब लेता. ही विल टेल इफ आई विल गिव 1 बिल क्रेडिट, अगर वो क्लियर करे तो नेक्स्ट बिल क्रेडिट देता. सो ही नीड टू अगर वो दे देता था, बिकॉज अगर वो नहीं पे नहीं करा तो उसको स्टॉक नहीं आता, उसका शॉप में स्टॉक नहीं रहता कि बिजनेस चले. सो ही बिजनेस हैज टू गो ऑन. सो ही नीड टू पे 1 बिल. सम बैड डेट विल बी देयर, लाइक 100 में 10% रहता था, 2 to 10%, बट दैट ऑल्सो ही कैन मैनेज. ओके, उन बोलता था कि दैट विल बी मैनेजेबल, बट दिस इज हाउ बिजनेस वर्क्स इन द ग्राउंड लेवल.
Very true. And very often there is always a trade-off between how fast you can turn and how much margin you can make. So very often it makes sense to discount it and use some of these apps and basically get the money, pay 1%, get the money fast if you can turn it and make your 5% again. Right? So even for large companies, this is why large companies who spend time work on significantly negative working capital or try to.
Do you think credit calculation is sophisticated at the retailer and wholesaler level across the board, or is it just the larger, more successful ones that do it?
I think the retailer and wholesaler, it's a system, and ये system अलग-अलग wholesale markets में अलग है. So कई cities में wholesale, even though the community that runs wholesale is very networked और एक community around the country, so much before the internet और Amazon, अगर आपका price बेंगलोर में साबुन का 100 रुपये है और दिल्ली में 102 रुपये है, तो 10 ट्रक भर के आ जाएंगे, बिकॉज दे विल बी एबल टू. जब मोबाइल फ़ोन नहीं होते थे, ओवरनाइट रनर जाते थे विद द फुल प्राइस लिस्ट बिटवीन ईच होलसेल मार्केट. देन द मोबाइल फोन्स केम एंड नाउ एवरीवन नोज द प्राइस ऑफ एवरीथिंग एवरीवेयर. सो इट्स टोटली ट्रांसपेरेंट. तो जो होलसेलर है ना, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द वॉल्यूम, जिसका ज़्यादा वॉल्यूम है वो कैश देगा, क्योंकि वो कंपनी को बोलेगा मुझे 5 ट्रक साबुन के अनलोड करो, कैश लो. सो देर आर होलसेल स्टोर्स इन दिस कंट्री. जो ये जो टेबल है ना, आधा इसके साइज़ का होलसेल का स्टोर है, वो आपसे 20 ट्रक साबुन खरीदेगा, 2 घंटे में वो साबुन बेच देगा, पीछे उसका, और फिर वो किसी और को बेचेगा. वो भी इसी साइज़ का स्टोर है. वो क्या करेगा, वो साबुन निकाल देगा, उसका रिटेल धंधा बहुत दूसरा दुकान में है, वो 5 ट्रक के जो गत्ते हैं ना, 50 रुपए का गत्ता बेच के वो प्रॉफिट भी बना लेगा।
सर क्रेडिट नहीं होता तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर की जरूरत क्या होती है? आप ऑनलाइन बेच सकते थे।
Financing is the thing, no? Absolutely.
सर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर मार्केट से हट जाता, मिडिल मैन हट जाता। रिटेल वाला अगर डायरेक्ट कैश पे ही बाय कर रहा होता तो आपकी वेबसाइट पे अवेलेबल था।
लोगों को ये समझ नहीं आता कि बहुत साल पहले ये था कि मॉडर्न ट्रेड आएगा और इंडिया के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को डिस्ट्रॉय कर देगा, पर व्हाट पीपल डोंट अंडरस्टैंड, जो लोगों को समझ नहीं आता वो ये है कि जो इंडियन होलसेल सिस्टम है वो उतना एफिशिएंट सिस्टम एट सच अ लो कॉस्ट दुनिया में नहीं है। तो आपका कंपनी आई वाज इन, उसका साबुन आई डोंट रिमेंबर कितना, बट लेट्स से 60 लाख 6 मिलियन स्टोर्स में है। देयर आर 9 मिलियन स्टोर्स 10 मिलियन स्टोर्स इन दिस कंट्री। आपका एवरेज रिटेल मार्जिन, सो इंडिया इज द ओनली कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड एज फार एज आई नो विच हैज़ द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ MRP टू प्रोटेक्ट द कंज्यूमर, और किसी कंट्री में नहीं है। तो यहाँ पे क्या है कि आपका MRP अगर 100 है तो आपका डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर बेच रहा है लेट्स कॉल इट 90 या 85 पे, और डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर का बाइंग प्राइस 85 है, तो सिर्फ 20 रुपये है, 20% इन दैट, एंड द रिटेलर कैनॉट टेक द प्राइस अप। तो ये 20% व्हेन मॉडर्न ट्रेड कम्स इन, इट इज़ टोटली इनसफिशिएंट, सो देयर इज़ नो प्लेस फॉर देम। सो व्हाट मॉडर्न ट्रेड डज, अगर आप मॉडर्न ट्रेड में जाते हो बहुत ही अच्छा होता है, वो एयर कंडीशनिंग भी है, कौन पे कर रहा है उसके लिए? आपके प्राइस से पे हो रहा है। सो दे for things that where there's no MRP, the price in modern trade margin needs to be more to pay for all the cost. So if you go to a Walmart in the US, they take the price up, even though they say they take the price down. And because आपके ये जो wholesalers हैं इतने networked हैं across the country, कि थोड़ा price गिरा तो product move हो गया, तो price वो base rate रहता है. So that keeps the whole thing in that range. So the total cost of that
Equilibrium is very delicate, huh? What?
but very stable, because if it changes then the volume changes and it's a perfect market. So what ends up happening is the millions of tons of stuff that is transported across this country and reaches every nook and corner, the total cost in margins is less than half. Any global company you talk to, ask them the difference between the retail selling price and the net revenue. You'll find that in India, it's 25 to 30% of anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah. So in India, if in my previous companies, let's say, or that kind of company, not that specific company, if your revenue is 100, your selling price is 100, you are making 70, 67, 70. If you do the same thing in Germany, if you're selling at 100, you're making 35. So can you imagine how high the price must be?
And you think wholesale is kind of what is keeping it?
I think wholesale is the key component, but of course that gets destabilized because now that modern trade is in and modern trade is saying we are buying large quantities, give us discount. If companies give them discount, तो वापस wholesale में चला जाता.
How was your experience on ground when you were shooting?
So very good, yeah. Very good. So I went with Arjun, like Adi and my common friend. We went into Connaught Place. Arjun sits on our board and actually understands the razor category very well because he used to work at Gillette before. But very humbling. Like selling is very humbling. So people don't pay attention. Even if you tell people I'm the founder and this and that, nobody cares. Nobody cares. You're the founder in your office. Even in office, people don't care, to be honest. But on the streets, I think people don't like being sold to. That's what Adi and I were also discussing. They like to buy. They like to feel smart. They like to feel they got a great deal. They like to feel that the product is great.
Nobody ever likes to buy a cheap product. It's a universal insight. Everybody wants the best product for the budget that they want to afford. Nobody wants to say, I've bought a low quality product.
You are now associated with us beyond just the last 2 months. I think this is a part of family, and I think for us it is important to figure out how to cultivate this. This is just literally the first date. So how do we make this a relationship for many, many years across things beyond Razor? Razorpreneur was a small thing, right? But I think we can go deeper in your businesses, in our business, bring people like Adi over to kind of mentor all of us together. But thank you so much for coming to my home, coming to Delhi. You're coming from out of town, for sharing your stories with such authentic, vulnerability in some places, confidence in some places, inspiration, and you've made me a lot richer tonight. So thank you. Adi, some words of advice, reflection from your side?
Before anything, first of all, I just want to thank you, Shantanu. And I'm sure everybody joins me because I think it's rare for anybody to invite people into their home to have this kind of conversation. So thank you for that. Look, I've been watching the Cricket World Cup, and you can see how India has developed over the last 25, 30 years, right? So there was a time when we used to be scared of the world. All the time, right? You just could bounce us out. Then there came a phase which actually started what a friend of mine calls the Dhoniization of cricket. What is the Dhoniization of India? Dhoniization of India was about people from small towns coming out and changing the world because they had all the confidence. And then you've come to a stage where it's all not just that, but it's become totally professional, it's become a machine. And it's not just beating the world, it's just destroying the world. I can see in all of you the kind of people who will become entrepreneurs, business leaders, who will actually drive the same thing in the business community of the country. And it's been fantastic to hear your stories. All of you have had a real hero story. Yeah. And the beautiful thing is this is just the start of your stories, right? There is so much to go for. So I would encourage you to stay in touch, not just with Shantanu, but with each other. Because just see what we have around the room. We have people who understand distribution. We have people who are going to set up news magazines or news across the country. We have people who are going to do interesting things with content and can teach you how to monetize your own content, like he has done. We have people who extract pinky promises from Shantanu. We have people who ambush this by creating a product which is now on a basically national, international level podcast. We have people who actually win the contest. So it's fantastic. It's just awesome, amazing. What great learnings from all of you. So thank you very much. And happy Diwali again to you and your families.
Happy Diwali. On that note, we bring Razorpreneur to a close, season 1. Awesome. Well done.
Cheers.